We're going to get a little info tour from Jeff over here about the whole project.
Yeah.
Oh, now.
All right. It's official.
So, and we are having a sweet treat with the Moka chocolate, and I want to find out how he created this company at the Himalaya Institute, and also his purpose of this chocolate and the transformation of the chocolate. Okay, we going to let Jeff to talk about it.
We started this project called Moka really just in 2014. We started in a country called Cameroon, West Africa, where we had been working for a decade running libraries and health centers. And the Institute has been involved in humanitarian projects long before 2007, actually. They started in the 60s. When they started HI, the whole focus of them has been yoga and action. So in addition to serving ourselves and spending a lot of time developing our own self, what about the community around us? And so another part of yoga is really getting off the mat and into the world and making a difference in communities surrounding us. And that's really what drew me here 10 years ago. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of the Cameroon team, and for the past 10 years spending about half of my time there with a great team of people, running health centers, running libraries. When I'm here, I'm usually talking about those projects and inspiring people to come over there with us and volunteer or donate one way or the other. And in 2014, we wanted to make a step towards employment. So health and education are important, but one piece that's really missing in these communities is job creation. There's literally no economic movement, and agriculture was such a great way to do that. It had been something we had experience doing in India and Mexico and other parts of Africa, and so we started a large-scale farming project called Moka in a cocoa growing community. And we started also working with coffee farmers at a higher elevation and begun sourcing cocoa beans, coffee beans, and started planting on our own farm after we received a lovely land grant from the government to start this project. And so the purpose really is kind of twofold. One, to employ directly on our farm while also working with existing farmers to increase the quality and the yield of their farms and their trees while reducing costs as much as possible, and then giving them a direct market to sell their cocoa at a premium paid based off of quality.
That's amazing, and how you source that is ethical and also supporting the farmers directly. And I want to also know the process you bring the cocoa to transform the cocoa beans to chocolate, and also talk about how many flavors you
Awesome.
have.
Well, let's start here. Let's start here with the roaster.
Okay.
So let me grab some beans. So we roast our cocoa beans on a coffee roaster.
Yes.
We also roast coffee. So Moka Origins, we really focus around two things. One is three things. One is our farm, working with farmers to grow cocoa, coffee, plantain, food crops, all kinds of medicinal herbs. But here in the States, we work with cocoa beans and coffee beans. And so our coffee and cocoa come directly from farms that we work with in Cameroon, but also other great partnering farms around the world. And both cocoa and coffee, the first step to making a finished product is roasting. Well, first is sorting and then roasting. So for cocoa, our beans are hand-picked through to make sure only good quality beans are making it to the roaster. And when we roast them, we're looking at a few different things. We're first understanding what kind of beans we're working with and what flavors are present in the cocoa. And then we'll know from how to draw those flavors out, how to really bring and make present the chocolatey flavors that we're going for. So our bean from, for example, Dominican Republic will roast very differently than like our bean from Uganda or our bean from Cameroon. And they all have very specific flavor profiles present in the bean, and one of our goals is to make that flavor carry through to the finished chocolate. So that's a lot of fun.
Change the originality flavor. You want to keep that original flavor.
Yeah. We want to preserve the origin flavor as much as possible, or bring through the most positive flavors that it has present in it without dulling them down.
Are they mostly of the beans are organic?
Yeah, most of them are. Yep.
Okay.
Like this bean here is from Uganda. It's a fair trade certified organic bean.
Okay.
And we work with lots of different producers. Some are certified organic and some just don't have the certifications. One of our main requirements is just knowing more about them as farmers, the workings of their farm, their own ethics around farming and their practices, and then the transparency around the supply chain.
Okay.
So after we roast, we're left with this really lovely low roasted bean that we can then crush and crush it open, and you have two things. You have
So what kind of tools you use to crush that?
just a
Hand
grinder.
crusher?
Yep.
Grinder, okay.
A grinder.
Grinder,
Yep.
crusher.
And so we have husk mixed in with nib, and the nib is what we're going to use to make chocolate. So we have to remove that. So we use a vacuum with a bucket, and
Wow.
we tune it so that.
Can you show us?
Sure. Yeah. So a brilliant scientist named John
Wow.
Nancy created this, and we sourced it from him. It's a really low-tech way to do an effective job of winnowing
amazing.
our cocoa. So
Okay.
we pour the mix in here, we tune the suction so that it's just perfect for the bean that we're working with, and it sucks the husk while leaving us perfectly clean nibs. And those nibs are a product that we can eat directly or that we can make chocolate with.
Wow, that's effective and clever.
Yep, it is.
Okay, so how these from these nibs and then to transform to chocolate? How is that?
So when we rehabilitated this old barn, we needed a production space, and so we first built this space as a way to have a good climate-controlled room that we can work with chocolate. And really the humidity and the temperature, these factors can really influence the chocolate, and this room allows us to control those. So we use these small refiners. Inside there's granite rollers, and these refiners for anywhere between 24 hours and 72 hours, depending on the bean we're working with and the flavor we're going for, will reduce the particle size of the nibs and the sugar that we add as well, and give us a smooth, creamy chocolate. We also then at this stage really help to develop the flavors. So some of our more acidic or brighter beans we like to refine for a little bit longer to kind of evaporate those volatile flavors just to a certain extent. We do want some of that present, but then some of our less fruity, less acidic beans, we don't need to go quite as far. So we're doing two things. We're achieving a good consistency, and we're also developing the flavor.
Oh, I see this stage.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so then after these refined, and then it's a process of cooling, or how do you make the chocolate bars?
You bet. So after we pour the chocolate, which is liquid form, out of the refiners, we let it set. When we work with our chocolate in the production room, we're pouring our chocolate out, we're aging it, and then we're pouring it into our molds. After we temper it, then we're hand wrapping it and enjoying it and sharing it. So here's a look at our finished product.
Okay.
So several different origins and a few different types of chocolate. This is Dominican Republic, a great cooperative called Zerzal. Our bean from Uganda we use as a base chocolate for a few different flavors. So our dark with sea salt, or lemon ginger,
Wow.
toffee almond, and just plain.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you give us your where the information, where we can
Yeah.
buy your product, because it's so special and it's it's satisfying our sweet tooth and also doing good things. We love that product.
So one of the greatest, I would say, joys of what we're doing, from all the way from the farm, all the way to the bar, or the coffee, is sharing that story and letting people be part of that vision that we have, which is working with our farmers. And all of our products can be found on our website at mokaorigins.com, and we really invite people to come and check us out, check out our story, and try our product, and most importantly, give us some feedback.
Thank you for this sweet inspiration, Jeff. Thank you, and
You're welcome.
keep
My
up the
pleasure.
good work. Thank you.